Today we're going to be talking about VR tracking systems, how they work, and what types of systems there are. So let's get started. Tracking in VR is what allows your headset to track and move in VR space. It determines where you are and where your hands are. So different types of headsets use different types of tracking systems, and the tracking systems use different tech in order to function properly. And each of those tracking systems has its own pros and cons. So what I want to do today is break those down for you, what the different types are and what the pros and cons are. First up, we have inside-out tracking. It's most commonly found on the standalone headsets like the Quest 2 and the Quest 3 and the PlayStation VR 2. These headsets have built-in cameras that track the position of the headset and the controllers without the need for external sensors. Now, the pros of an inside-out tracking system is that it doesn't need external hardware or sensors, and it's easy to set up, it's portable, and they work well in most environments. But on the other hand, they struggle in low-light conditions. They're less precise than external tracking systems, and the controllers on these can get obstructed by things. If the controller can't see your headset, if it can't see the cameras, then it's not going to track properly. Next, we have outside-in tracking. And this is more common in the high-end PC VR headsets like the Valve Index, the HTC headsets, and the Pimax headsets. Now, this system relies on external sensors like the Steam VR base stations to track the headsets and controllers using infrared light. Now, the pros of a system like this is that it's very precise and accurate tracking. It's a lot less prone to obstruction because of the placement of the base stations, and it's great for big room scale VR experiences. Now, the cons for this is that it requires a lot of external hardware and setup. Most systems that require external sensors are gonna need at least two in order to function optimally. The second big con is because the external sensor placement and them needing to be wired to a PC, they're not as portable as inside-out tracking systems. And then additionally, because you're buying all the extra sensors and the cables and the power adapters, it's a lot more expensive than a inside-out tracking headset that you can just pull right out of the box. Now we need to talk about optical tracking. Optical tracking is another method that uses external cameras placed in a room to track headsets and controllers in VR space. The PlayStation VR, for example, uses the PlayStation camera to track the lights on the headset and controllers, while the PSVR 2 uses the much more common now inside-out tracking with additional depth sensors. Now, the pros of a system like this is that it can be really accurate with good camera placement, and it works great for full body tracking in some setups. They can have issues with obstruction and objects blocking the devices and the cameras, and camera placement can really limit your tracking range. Now, this next one's a little weird and it might surprise you, but there are some VR headsets that use electromagnetic tracking. Electromagnetic tracking uses magnetic fields to determine the positions of objects without needing a direct line of sight. This method is more commonly used in specialized VR applications. You're going to see it much more in medical and industrial use for VR setups. It has been used in the past by devices like the Razer Hydra. The pros of something like this is that it doesn't require a line of sight, so obstruction is not an issue, and it works really well in small spaces. But on the cons side, and it's a serious con, metal objects can cause a lot of electrical interference, which render the tracking system kind of inert. And it's not as commonly used in consumer VR headsets, so good luck finding something that can actually take advantage of it. And now we need to talk about inertial tracking. Inertial tracking uses internal sensors like gyroscopes and accelerometers to estimate movement. Most VR systems use some form of inertial tracking in combination with other methods. Early mobile VR headsets like the Oculus Go and the Google Daydream, for example, relied heavily on this type of tracking. Now, in the pros column, they work without external sensors or cameras, which is kind of nice sometimes, and they provide a really fast motion tracking. But on the con side, they kind of experience this drift over time where you have to recalibrate them constantly because they don't actually know where they are in geospatial terms. And because it's not actually tracking itself in 3D space, it's not really good for VR. So yeah, those are the major types of VR tracking systems. Each has its own strengths and weaknesses, depending on the type of VR experience that you're looking for. If you're a casual gamer, inside-out tracking is probably perfect for you. If you want that high-precision tracking, then outside-in might be the way to go. But I want to hear from you guys. What kind of VR headset tracking system do you prefer, and what would you like to see more of in future VR headsets and controllers? And did you even know that there was this many types of VR tracking? Leave me a comment below and let me know what you think. And if you're having issues with your tracking system, whether that's on your headsets or controllers, whether you want to fix the device yourself or send something in for repair, you can do that right on our website, fixmyoculus.com. And if you guys want to learn more about VR troubleshooting and repairs, do consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next one.